What if I told you there's a bone in your body that could change everything? Not a theory, not some mystical fluff. We're talking biology, ancestral vibration, and deep memory. A bone so powerful, ancient cultures treated it as sacred. And yet today, it's so ignored that millions walk around feeling off, anxious, stuck, disconnected, without a clue why. They feel it. But the issue isn't what they're doing, it's what they're not moving. What if what you've been calling failure all this time was actually the silent beginning of your true awakening? Maybe you're not falling back. Maybe you're finally coming home to yourself. Stick around till the end of this video and learn how your wounds might actually be portals of power in disguise. Because every fall carries a seed of redemption. And if something in this message stirred something in you, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. This channel is a safe space for those ready to look within and finally start healing. That bone, it's called the sacrum, right at the base of your spine. It holds the ancestral pulse, the deepest vibrational memory in your body. And as long as it stays frozen, nothing shifts. You could read all the books, meditate for hours, align your chakras, cover yourself in crystals, chant all the affirmations. But if this part of your body isn't moving, your energy stays stuck. On repeat. In the same old frequency. The sacrum is the first bone to form in the human body inside the womb. And it's the last to decompose after death. Beginning and end. Vibrational portal. Energetic throne. In ancient Egypt, it was linked to the Jed pillar, the symbol of resurrection. Hermetic teachings recognized it as the foundation of manifestation. Afro-diasporic cultures called it the sacred drum of consciousness. They didn't speak to the gods. They danced to them. Today, science is finally catching up to what they already knew. Conscious pelvic movement activates the vagus nerve, balances the limbic system, stimulates perception centers, lowers cortisol, regulates the heart, and rewires your internal chemistry. It's not metaphysical. It's physical. Vibrational. Real. When the sacrum moves, the body responds. Your energy field aligns. Your vibration becomes order, not noise. 5 movements. 3 minutes a day. And your reality begins to shift from the root. Most people want to activate the third eye without moving the base. But the body doesn't light up from the top down. It ignites from below, from the ground, from the pelvis, from where presence is born, where rhythm lives, where consciousness awakens. In Taoism, that area is called the lower dantian, the microcosm. That's where inner alchemy begins. That's where life breath is born. And right there, in the womb space, raw energy is transformed into awareness. So, how do you begin? Step 1. The horizontal 8. Standing with your knees slightly bent, start drawing a figure 8 with your hips. Don't overthink it. Feel it. This movement helps release stuck patterns in the pelvis. Practice for 2 minutes with your eyes closed. Little by little, the body remembers. The mind quiets. Tension dissolves. Step 2. The vertical wave. From the same stance, gently tilt your hips forward as you inhale, and back as you exhale. Like a wave. This movement activates the sacrum to pineal axis. It pushes cerebrospinal fluid upward, stimulating brain regions linked to clarity, intuition, and unity. It's an internal dance. A vibrational command. Your body knows this language. Step 3. The inner spiral. Lie on your back, knees bent, feet grounded. Close your eyes. Imagine a spiral gently rotating inside your pelvis. Even if there's no visible movement, the code activates. You're accessing cellular memory. It's okay if you don't feel anything at first. What matters is, your body is reading the signal. Step 4. Rhythmic pulsation with breath. Sitting or lying down, place your hands over your lower belly. As you inhale, slightly expand that area. As you exhale, gently contract the pelvic floor, as if giving a subtle upward push. This micro-movement sends vibrations up your spine. It activates deep neural circuits. You're vibrating with awareness. You're reorganizing yourself from the center. These practices don't require blind faith or spiritual complexity. They require presence, a return to the body, a return to the root. Because what activates here is not an idea. It's the reawakening of your sacred biology. Let me tell you a true story. Samuel wasn't a mystic, not a yogi, not someone chasing enlightenment. He was just someone, tired, wanting to sleep without that weight on his chest. One night, without knowing why, he stood up in the dark and started moving his hips. Slowly. No rhythm. No technique. It wasn't dance. It was need. It was body. Within minutes, something shifted. His breath deepened. His mind quieted. And a warmth began to rise up his spine. The next day, he repeated the movement. Then came the vertical wave. Then the spiral. Then the pulse. He didn't know the names, but his body did. His body remembered. Within days, the anxiety softened. His listening sharpened. And that silence that used to hurt turned into presence. See, the biggest obstacle isn't the technique. It's the conditioning. We've spent too long believing that transformation only comes from the mind, from thoughts, from complexity. But the truth is simpler than that. The body doesn't need to be convinced. It just needs to be heard. And yes, at first, a part of you might doubt. Is this it? A pelvic movement is going to change my life. That doubt doesn't come from your wisdom. It comes from your addiction to complexity. But your body doesn't need to understand. It just needs space to remember. Many fear moving this area because it holds shame, pain, memories we're too afraid to touch. But avoiding it is not the answer. Movement is. Even if it's just for 1 minute a day. No pressure. No goals. Just presence. Because your body still remembers how to heal. And especially your sacrum. That forgotten center that holds more wisdom than your mind could ever decode. You no longer need to force alignment with the universe. You just need to move. In the right rhythm, in the right place. And from there, everything changes. Vibration isn't something you search for. It's something you remember. And when your sacrum starts pulsing with intention, the entire universe finds a new place to begin. As Gaston Bachelard once said, the body is the first home of the spirit. Move it. Listen to it. Live inside it. Because when the sacrum awakens, it doesn't awaken alone. What moves at the base begins to resonate through the whole. It's not just a local vibration. It's a signal. A message traveling through your structure. Rewriting how you breathe, how you think, how you feel, how you exist. It's as if something that's been waiting for years, decades, generations, finally gets permission to beat again. At first, it's subtle. A tingling, a strange sensation, like being touched from the inside. Not by a hand, but by something older. Something that's been with you all along. The ancients called it the spirit of the bone. African tribes knew. Inside every bone lives a voice. A wisdom not learned, but remembered. And among all the bones, the sacrum was the most revered. Because it wasn't just the base of the body. It was the base of rhythm, of music, of the collective pulse. In their ceremonies, they didn't start with words. They started with a drum. Because they knew. The drum doesn't just keep time. It awakens the body. And that's exactly what happens. When you move your sacrum, without even knowing it, you're playing the first drum. You're summoning a vibration. Your body recognizes as home. Not because you're trying, but because your center has realigned. You see differently. Your gaze stops searching outward and starts reflecting what's happening within. Even your thoughts lose that sharp, repetitive tone that once made them feel like enemies. Now they're just clouds. They come, they go. But you remain anchored. This anchoring is real. When the sacrum is activated, it shifts your postural axis. That means your entire body begins to restructure. Tensions you thought were normal start to dissolve. your jaw, your neck, your back. Those places that held stiffness from unconscious habits. They begin to soften, not through force, but through permission, because the body stops fighting its own foundation. And when that happens, something even deeper begins to awaken. The consciousness of movement. The consciousness of movement isn't about moving for the sake of moving. It's about moving with intention, inhabiting every curve, every shift, every pause. In many indigenous cultures, a conscious gesture was a form of prayer. Lifting a stone with attention was a blessing. Touching the earth barefoot was a pact. Dancing was healing. Today, most people walk without knowing they're walking. They breathe without knowing they're breathing. They live inside a body they don't hear. But you're no longer there. You can't go back. Because once the sacrum awakens, awareness expands. And then something else emerges. Effortless presence. Effortless presence isn't about focus or forcing stillness. It's about being so anchored in your body that the mind no longer needs to control anything. Suddenly, clarity arises. Listening sharpens. A soft, alert state begins to bloom, as if the world is speaking a language you finally understand, without needing to translate. It's here that many people realize they don't need to understand everything. They just need to feel. That safety doesn't come from controlling life, but from fully inhabiting it. That spirituality is not escape, nor idealization. It's embodiment. It's being here, present, alive. And that, though it may seem simple, is revolutionary. Let me tell you something. A woman named Clara practiced these movements for 30 days straight. She didn't fully know why, but something inside her kept asking to return to the body. For years, she'd searched for answers outside herself. Retreats, books, gurus. But the emptiness always came back. No teaching could fill it. Until one night, standing before the mirror, she felt her body looking back. Not with eyes, with presence. As if something inside her whispered, "I'm here. Where are you?" And that's when it began. Small movements, deep breaths, circles, waves, pulses, day after day. Not with forced devotion, but with curiosity. And what she found wasn't sudden enlightenment, but something deeper. A reunion with her rhythm, with her tenderness, with her ability to feel without needing to explain. She started sleeping better. Her anxiety softened. Her once intrusive thoughts became something she could simply observe. There was no magic, no miracle, just sustained presence in the body. And that was enough, because the body, when it is truly heard, becomes a guide. And here's the key. Lasting transformation doesn't come from extraordinary moments. It comes from ordinary acts, held in presence over time, moving the sacrum, feeling the pelvis, inhabiting rhythm. It may sound small, but it's a return home. It's giving your body the place it always deserved, not as a tool for production, but as a living altar. And when you do that, your environment begins to shift too. Because vibration isn't some abstract concept. It's a real emission. The way you are in your body shapes how others feel you. When your base is connected, people sense your center. When you breathe from your pelvis, your voice changes. Your energy becomes magnetic. Not because you're trying, but because you're embodying. And you know what else happens? You start making different choices. Not from lack, not from fear, but from a grounded confidence. That doesn't come from outside, but from a root that runs deep. The awakened sacrum is like a luminous root touching the earth. And when you're rooted, you can grow in any direction, without getting lost. That's why the ancients never separated body from spirit. They knew, without the body, there's no lived spirituality. Only concepts, only fantasy, only waiting. But you're stepping out of that. You're beginning to remember. Maybe you feel it's too late, that there are wounds, memories, stiffness. But none of that matters. The sacrum doesn't need you to be perfect. It only needs you to be present. Don't force it. Don't demand anything. Just begin. 1 minute a day. 1 spiral. 1 pulse. 1 deep breath into your belly. That's enough to spark the fire. And if you feed that spark, it becomes a flame. The body remembers what the mind has forgotten. And you are awakening that memory. If you've made it this far, it's not by accident. It's because a part of you is already vibrating differently. Even if it's small, even if it's quiet, that part is already in motion. And remember this: the universe doesn't respond to what you think. It responds to how you vibrate. When the sacrum is activated, you're not just awakening your physical base. You're tuning your frequency. You're saying to the universe, I'm here. I'm ready. I'm alive. And that's felt. That's seen. That's what transforms everything. You don't need grand ceremonies. You don't need 1,000 techniques. You just need to enter your body with respect. And from there, walk the world. When your base vibrates, the world listens. When your sacrum breathes, reality adjusts. So today, come back to the body. Come back to the gesture. Come back to the drum. Because the deepest truths aren't found in words. They're found in rhythm.